She stood in the doorway, suitcase in hand, her eyes darting away from mine as if she were searching for courage in the floorboards. And when I asked her again who she was going away with, her lips parted, and with the calmest cruelty I had ever heard, she whispered, "With my ex," as if that confession was nothing more than telling me the weather. And in that moment the silence in the room was heavier than a scream, heavier than 1,000 lies. And I felt something inside me shatter, yet, instead of rage or desperate pleading, only 2 words rolled off my tongue. 2 words that carried every ounce of betrayal, finality, and icy control I could muster. Have fun. And the way her confident smirk faltered when she heard them told me she hadn't expected that. Hadn't expected my calm retreat from the battlefield she thought she controlled. For she wanted drama, a fight, tears that would justify her trip. But what she got was silence and those 2 words echoing like a verdict. And as she walked out, trying to mask her unease with forced laughter on the phone to someone I suspected was him, I sat in that quiet house replaying every moment of our years together. The slow unraveling of trust, the nights she turned away from me, the sudden overtime hours, the perfume that lingered when she claimed exhaustion. And I realized this wasn't a new betrayal but the final reveal of a long-concealed truth. So while she thought she was escaping with power, I was already building a trap. With patience sharper than any outburst, because love may make a man blind, but betrayal sharpens his vision. And that night, instead of drowning in whiskey or tears, I dug through her laptop, synced her emails to my account, copied her chat history, and found not only the itinerary for her so-called trip, but also months of digital whispers, confessions of passion, and plans of a future where I did not exist. A future she thought she had cleverly built behind my back, and with each word I read, the fire in my veins cooled into ice, because the more evidence I uncovered, the more I understood that the best revenge would not be loud. It would be silent, deliberate, and timed to perfection. And so while she was away, thinking she was safe in another man's arms, I liquidated our joint accounts into mine, secured proof of her infidelity in a folder titled Memories, that I sent to my lawyer, and began preparing the life she thought she had destroyed for me, but which I was about to rebuild on my own terms. And when she returned days later, tanned, smiling, a little too glowing for someone who had been on a simple trip, she found the locks changed, her key useless, and a neatly packed box of her clothes on the porch with a letter that contained nothing but a printed copy of her own messages with her ex and those same 2 words, "Have fun," signed at the bottom like a death sentence to our marriage. And though she called, screamed, begged, even cried, I never answered, for my silence was louder than any argument. And as months passed, I heard from friends that her ex had vanished the moment real responsibility touched his door, leaving her alone, jobless after her affair ruined her reputation at work, wandering through bars trying to find someone who would listen. But I had already vanished from her world like a ghost, building a new life from the ruins she left me in. And the beauty of it all was that she never got closure, never got the satisfaction of a fight. Because my 2 words, "Have fun," became the story she told herself over and over. A phrase that haunted her when she realized she had gambled love for lust, and lost everything. And as I watched from a distance, unseen, I knew I had won not by clinging to her, not by screaming at betrayal, but by letting go with such cutting calm that it sliced deeper than rage ever could. And that was the real suspense. The way she never knew when I had started planning, never knew how much I had seen, and never knew that the game she thought she controlled had ended the second I chose silence over war.